This video will demonstrate how to add a tenancy as a letting agent. You would first go to Tenancies and then go to the section that says Add Tenancy. For this situation, we'll use a residential tenancy and we will select the Unit 4, 152 Turner Drive. We'll keep the contract type as an AST and choose the tenancy status Current. Just to note, the difference between a current and a periodic tenant is that a current tenant has a fixed end date to their contract, whereas a periodic tenant is in the unit on a rolling contract. Now I've selected a current tenant, I'll put the start date of the tenancy as the 1st of May 2019, and I'll make it a year-long tenancy with no break clause and just one tenant. This second screen for financial details is very much a screen that will be used as a summary for if your tenants will use Arthur. So for this example, I'll put a monthly rent of £500, a deposit of £600, and I will say that the deposit is not required to be registered. The bank account and the deposit account should be the bank areas where the tenants are paying the money into, as opposed to any money that you are paying yourself. So the tenant pays their rent into the Arthur default account and their deposit also into the Arthur default account. Those should be the bank accounts selected in this area. Selecting a default rent payment method is not required, but is optional if you want to show that it is paid in a particular way. This third screen will be one of the most important screens for when adding your tenants. In this example, I'll call my tenant Johnny Smith, and as you are acting as a letting agent, the recurring charge should always be changed to rent charge. The description is what you want to see when it appears on the statement. The amount, collection frequency, and VAT code can be chosen. The start collection date can be seen as being very important. This is the first date you want the full amount of rent to be collected. So for this situation, I will backdate the rent a month so that it starts generating on the 1st of August. Grace days can be selected to change the due date of a rent. For example, if I put 5 grace days, whilst the rental invoice will generate on the 1st of August, it will not show as overdue until the 6th of August. Days in advance does the opposite feature, where if you use days in advance, the rental invoice will generate X number of days earlier. For example, if I put in 5 days in advance, the rental invoice would have generated on the 26th of July. If you use pro rata rent, you can tick the pro rata box here. We will now go on to the final screen, which is for where you want to put in any one-off charges. In this example, I'm just going to add a deposit, and I'm also going to add in the recurring charge made to the property owner, which in this case will be a management fee. I will press Add Recurring Charge, choose the type either Lettings Commission Charge or Management Fee. Both serve the same purpose. Whenever adding a management fee, you have 3 options: a fixed amount, percentage based on rent received, and percentage based on rent charged. The difference being that a fixed amount means that once a month, or however often your collection frequency is set to, you will charge a fixed amount for the management fee. The difference between that and the percentage options is that a percentage based on rent received management fee will generate only after the rent has been paid, whereas percentage based on rent charged will only generate on the actual date of the rent charge. Therefore, if a tenant does not pay a rent, the management fee will not generate if using percentage based on rent received. However, it will generate if using percentage based on rent charged. And in this situation, I will use percentage based on rent received. The amount section in this situation now turns into a percentage. I can now input if VAT is necessary on the management fee, and whenever using a percentage, the start collection date, grace days and days in advance are not needed. And now I can add my tenancy.